Hey, welcome back. Julius Caesar, Act 2, Scene 3, and Scene 4. Today is a very simple day, this assignment. Very few lines, only 16 lines in Scene 3, only 54 lines in Scene 4, so enjoy that. It's a very important part of the play, of course, because it's right before Act 3, Scene 1, where Caesar is going to be assassinated. But we will deal with that next assignment. Right now, let's just talk about where we are. Physically in the play, you have Caesar right now is just leaving his home, which is not a far walk from the Capitol. Where the Senate meets, and he's walking, and he's being walked by the conspirators. Almost, I think all of them were there. I think we may have been missing one. But who are our conspirators of curse? We have cats can't chew crispy bacon during the movie. 8 of them. Cats, Cassius, can't, Caius, chew, Cinna, crispy, Cicero. No, it wasn't Cicero. Cassius, Cinna, Casca, and Caius, thank you, bacon during the movie, which would be Brutus, Decius, Trebonius, and Metellus. You have to remember all these people, and they're all walking with Caesar right now, and they're taking him to the Capitol where they are going to assassinate him. They're gonna stab him. Now, very important. 2 things. 1, how did they get Caesar to go? Remember, he was going to stay home because Calpurnia convinced him to. First, she said, I had this bad dream. And then she said, the priests and the sacrifice and all the crazy things going on. And don't forget the soothsayer, although she didn't say that, I did, but she knows it. And Caesar was going to stay home for her. But then, of course, Decius came, and Decius manipulated Caesar into going again a couple of ways. 1, he questioned Caesar's masculinity, which Caesar's not having that. Another one was he actually kind of questioned his greed a little bit by pointing out that if he doesn't go today, he might not get the crown tomorrow, because the senators are supposed to give him the crown today. So that's another reason why Caesar looks to Calpurnia and says, I can't believe I even listened to you. I'm going. Let's do this. Don't forget Calpurnia's dream with Caesar bleeding all over the place and people bathing in it. And Decius said, "No, dude, that dream means people love you and they're taking they're taking life from you." And Calpurnia is like, "Yeah, they're taking life from you, dude. They're going to kill you." But Decius again questions his mind. He said they're going to laugh at you. So here comes Caesar. Now on the way in this scene, Act 2, Scene 3, we actually have a character. His name is Artemidorus, very small part. It's just one set of lines. And in it, he's going to explain to us that he has a letter. And this letter basically is telling Caesar, watch your back. All these guys are after you. Now, it's interesting. Look at the letter. I'm going to read it to you in a moment. And everybody who's in it, all the conspirators are named. So people in Rome know about it. The word is out, but nobody can get close to Caesar, which is another reason why they are ringing Caesar right now. They're not going to let Artemidorus get close to him. They're certainly not going to let Caesar read any letters given to him right now for fear that he could be warned. And Artemidorus can't just come up and scream it because they'll kill him right then and Caesar. So Artemidorus is in a tough spot. So we're about to see that. And then we'll talk about Scene 4. So let's go. Scene 3. Enter Artemidorus reading a paper. Artemidorus, Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca. Have an eye to Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Thy lover, Artemidorus. So, again, take a look at that letter. All the conspirators, CCCC, BDTM, Cats Can't Chew Crispy Bacon during the movie, they're all named. So people know, but unfortunately, who doesn't know? It's Julius Caesar. Here will I stand till Caesar passes along, and as a suitor I will give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive. And then he exits. By the way, I just want to point out the fact that Artemidorus is alone on stage made what he just said a soliloquy. We know he's not lying to somebody because he's talking directly to us. We're hearing his thoughts. And what are his thoughts? He says, OMG, I hope Caesar reads this as he goes by. If he doesn't, he is going to die. Ooh, I rhymed one time. Let's go. Scene 4. Okay, enter Portia and Lucius. Okay, so now remember Portia. Brutus's wife. She stabbed herself in the leg to get him to tell her what he was doing. And of course, he didn't tell her anyway. He said, my gosh, you're tough and awesome, but I'm still not going to tell you. She's home right now, and she's with their servant Lucius. And of course, she is worried about her husband. And she is going to send Lucius to the capital to see what is going on. And you can tell by the fact that she's not giving him good directions and whatnot, just how nervous poor Portia is. She understands quite clearly. I mean, if Artemidorus knows it, I think Portia knows what's going on as well. And I think she's very worried about her husband. I think she knows he's going to get into something that he can't get out of, or into something that's going to get them all into a big mess of trouble. Let's go. Scene 4. Enter Portia and Lucius. Portia, I prithee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay? And Lucius says, to know my errand, madame. So she said, run to the Senate house. Why are you still here? And he's like, well, you didn't tell me what to do. Just run there. And she says, I would have had thee here, there, and here again before I could tell thee what thou should do there. Aside. Okay, so she said, man, if you would just have gone already, you could have been back by now. But then listen to her. In an aside, that's the opposite of a soliloquy, which means not the opposite of a soliloquy. It's a type of soliloquy, I guess you could say, where, again, she's speaking directly to the audience. Even though Lucius is there, we're supposed to believe he can't hear what she's saying. All right, so she says in her thoughts, O Constancy, be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard is it for women to keep counsel? Art thou here yet? And now she's lamenting the fact that and it's tough. Imagine this. She's as smart as anybody else, as all women are, and she's not even allowed to go to the Capitol to see what's going on with her husband, to help defend him, to talk to him, to love him. She can't go. They don't allow women in the Capitol, which is obviously crap. So listen to those lines. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might, which means I'm smart enough to do it, but I don't have the power to do it. And oh, that's just crap. Pardon my French. Let's go. How hard is it for a woman to keep counsel? Art thou here yet? And Lucius says, Madame, what should I do? Run to the Capitol and nothing else? And so return to you and nothing else? And she says, yes. Bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well, for he went sickly forth, and take a good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy, what noise is that? Okay, listen. Interesting. She says 2 things. She wants him to do 2 things when he goes to the Capitol. 1, take a look at my husband. I didn't like how he looked when he left here. Remember, he's not sleeping, he's not eating, he's freaking out, he's about to do something very evil. And 2, take a look at Caesar, particularly who, it says, what suitors press to him, who's around him, who's surrounding Caesar. I think she knows what's going on right now. And then she says, oh, I heard something. And he says, I hear none, madame. And she says, prithee, listen well. I heard a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the Capitol. She thinks she just heard a bunch of screaming and yelling from the Capitol, which means they're very close. Their palace is very close to the Capitol, so the boy can run there and get back in a couple of minutes. She says, I just heard some screaming over there, and she's worried. I think we all know what that screaming might be, but maybe we're wrong. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, here comes somebody. Enter the soothsayer. Remember our soothsayer from the beginning? Okay, I think you do. Portia says, come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been? And he says, at mine own house, good lady. What is it o'clock? About the 9th hour, lady. Is Caesar yet gone to the Capitol? Madame, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the Capitol. Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not? That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar to be good, so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself. And Portia says, why? Knowest thou any harm that's intended towards him? And the soothsayer says, none that I know will be, much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar's at the heels of senators, praetors, common suitors will crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along. He exits. Okay, so we have 2 people who are going to try to warn Caesar as he walks along. We know one of them is Artemidorus, good old Artie. He has that letter that he's going to try to give to him. Now, do you think the gentlemen around Caesar are going to let him catch that letter and read it? I don't know how they're going to stop him. Let's wait and see how they do it. It's actually kind of smart how they do. And then 2, now the soothsayer is going to once again try to stop Caesar. Beware the Ides of March. Maybe he'll say that again. Imagine if he does say to beware the Ides of March. It already is. And remember how Caesar reacted to the soothsayer in Act 1, Scene 2. He said, this guy's crazy. He's a crazy old man. I can't listen to him. Because remember, if Caesar were to listen to this guy in front of everybody, people would say, Caesar's afraid. Caesar was told to be afraid, and he is. So I don't think he's going to listen to the soothsayer. But let's wait and see. Now, Portia says, I must go in, aside. Oh, I me, how weak a thing the heart of a woman is. O Brutus, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure, the boy heard me. To Lucius, Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Aside, oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say I am merry. Come to me again, and bring me word what he doth say to thee. And they exit separately. Now, I want to point something out interestingly. While she's telling the boy to go run and talk to Brutus and come back, she also said, I feel faint. She's about to pass out. Now, there's two schools of thought for this. Why is she, fainting right now? One, because she's so worried about her husband. And I think she knows that her husband is going into a life or death situation. So that is a possibility. But two, remember, there's another reason why she might be passing out. And it could simply be from blood loss, from stabbing herself yesterday. Just an idea. It's just another school of opinion. Everybody, that's a really great job. We're done. They exit separately. We are done. In the next scene, we are going to be in Act 3, Scene 1. I don't want to say it's the most famous scene of this play, although it is a very, very famous scene because technically we're supposed to believe it really happened in history, that Caesar really was killed by a bunch of these men. But the next scene after that, Antony is going to do something very important. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Ladies and gentlemen, you have finished Act 2 of Julius Caesar. Well done. Everything from here is basically kind of downhill in a weird way. We know it's going to happen. We know why they're going to kill Caesar. And the answer is pure revenge because Caesar killed Pompey, right? You could say because of fear that he was going to be named king. And now that the Senate might name him king, that might be possible. But really, it's about revenge for killing Pompey. And now we know who all those people are. CCC, BDTM, cats can't chew bacon during the movie. We know who they are, and we know why and how Brutus got put into the conspiracy. They have to have Brutus, of course, because he's Mr. Honor, and everybody knows he'll do everything for the good of Rome. They also have to have Brutus because he can get close to Caesar. He's Caesar's best friend. They got Brutus in by lying to him and manipulating him with those fake letters. They got Caesar to come to the Capitol by manipulating him and his masculinity, his pride. Let's watch Caesar die the next time we meet. And then from there, the question becomes, what happens to the conspirators and the conspiracy? Who should they have killed as well as Caesar, and who's going to come back to possibly haunt them? I think we all know the answer to that question is Mark Antony, and we will deal with that when we deal with that. Mark Antony is somebody you don't want as an enemy, it turns out, and they're going to find that out. Ladies and gentlemen, excellent job. Act 2 complete. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.